What's up, guys? This is Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down some of the best wide receiver press release drills that you guys can do to improve your skills. Let's get started. But before we get into these drills, fellas, I want to talk to you about a great opportunity this offseason. We are going to be traveling out to 10 different cities across the U.S. for 2-day-long QB and wide receiver training camps. So check out that very first link in the description below, fellas. If you guys are local to Washington, D.C., St. Louis, Missouri, Honolulu, Hawaii, Boston, Massachusetts, Cleveland, Ohio, Austin, Texas, Newark, New Jersey, Seattle, Washington, Denver, Colorado, and Los Angeles, California. We are hosting camps in all of those cities, 2-day-long camps for QBs and wide receivers. So if you guys are local to one of those cities and would like to get some more information on how you can sign up, check out that very first link in that description below. We'd love to have you out. Let's get back to this video. All right, guys, so this first drill is going to help you guys sell your press releases more, which is ultimately going to get you more separation against a disciplined DB. So a disciplined DB, where are his eyes supposed to be when he's guarding us in press coverage? His eyes are supposed to be watching my hips. So with releases, the mistake that a lot of wide receivers will make that will not get them separation against a DB who's disciplined is that when they make their moves off the line, they're only moving their head and their shoulders. They have no movement from their hips. They're not trying to step and actually threaten a DB outside of his frame. So a disciplined guy is going to be able to lock that up. So this drill is going to help you guys sell your releases with your entire upper body, but still maintain explosion with your legs to get you out of that release fast. So what you're going to do is you're going to line up here. You need 4 cones for this, and they're going to be separated by like kind of a 45-degree angle. So let's say you're starting, right foot's going to be up. You are going to start with your arms crossed. I call this a straight jacket. There's a reason for this, and I'll explain it in a second. But what we're going to do is you're going to start out with this release by taking a kick step, which is essentially a step with your back foot behind your front foot to load up your hips. Then we're going to step to the blue cone here, or the first cone, and you are going to turn your body without using your arms. So you're going to be here 1, come back 2, come back 3, and then burst out. If you have a quarterback, he can throw you a ball. If you don't have a quarterback, not necessary. Now, the reason why I'm putting you guys in that straight jacket is sometimes when wide receivers do their moves or do releases off the line, they're these guys. They're doggy paddling, they're dribbling basketballs, but that doesn't help you sell the route. What I tell a lot of my wide receivers to do is try to scrape your rib cage with your elbows, but sometimes that doesn't process. So when I put you in the straight jacket here and you do this move, that forces your body to turn, because you're not going to do this on this drill. If you really focus on turning your body separate from your lower body, that will help you sell this move more with your upper half. And obviously we can progress as you get a little bit more comfortable and do this release with your hands. I'm going to warn you, it might feel a little bit uncomfortable at first, but it is a great way to work on selling a release with your upper body to get a disciplined DB who's watching your hips to bite. Now, one other thing, when we do this drill, make sure that when you're on this straight jacket, we don't turn and open up my toe. Because if you open up your toe, you won't have any push back to the next cone. Just like on a release, you won't have any push and any explosion. So keep those toes forward, keep that weight distributed on the inside part of that foot, and sell with that upper half. I'm going to show you how this is going to look full speed. All right, guys, so this next drill is going to be working on your ability to restack and get skinny on a press release versus a press coverage DB. So this drill, honestly, you could use for any press release that you like. You could just attach a towel and 3 cones to simulate getting skinny or restacking, if you will. So we're going to be using this like on a wide step release. So a wide step release is where, let's say the ball's over here to my right, you would step with your back foot wide, trying to attack a DB who's maybe lined up outside shade or head up, and we are taking an inside release. So let's say, for example, you're taking an inside release on an outside breaking route, right? What you don't want to do is you don't want to come up to the line, give this move, get the DB to jump, and then run away from him, giving him all of this space to recover. We want to get north-south. We want to get skinny. I call it getting hip to hip, so we could either restack or be in a position where he's on my hip and I could throw by, or if it's an inside breaking route, I could lean into him and use my body to get space. But I can't do that if off the line, I don't get skinny immediately. So that's what this towel is for. So you need 3 cones. All you're going to do, you're going to give this move, let's say it's the wide step release, you're going to dip your shoulder and pick up the towel to work on you getting skinny and getting into that DB's frame. Because again, what a lot of guys will do is they'll come off the line, they'll do this wide step release, and they just turn and run. But when you're running up tall and your chest is up in the air, your shoulder is exposed, DB could just get hands, reroute you off this thing, especially when it's an outside release. So dipping that shoulder is a great habit to get into, and this towel is a great drill to work on that. I'm going to show you this is going to look full speed. All right, guys, so these next two drills that we're going to be giving you are going to work on a form of a hesitation release. So everybody, I'm sure, has seen a wide receiver at some point use like a hesitation release where, let's say they got a guy who's, maybe inside shade, for example, he's like 2 yards off, and they'll kind of hesitate at him and then give a move, right? And a lot of people talk about that. Oh, can I use a hesi move? Can I do this? Can I do that? But do they even really know the mechanics that go into that specific release? And that's what this drill is going to be working on. So super simple. You need 3 cones. You need orange cone, blue cone, orange cone over here. So 3 cones lined up in like a 45-degree angle. So what you're going to do, the biggest thing about a hesitation move is you need some kind of punch step. You need a punch step and a reach step. So let's say the DB is lined up where that blue cone is. And remember, whenever there's cushion between me and the DB, I have to close the cushion and then I have to give him a move. Now, this hesitation release, you want to take your back foot, so that would be your right foot in this case, and you're going to take a punch step. So a punch step is where you essentially just punch in the grass and you are going to reach with your front foot. So that's the hesitation element to it. You're closing space with the punch, reaching with the front foot, but slowing the tempo down to close space with the DB and throw off his timing. So all you're doing from cone 1 to cone 2 is exactly that. You're going to work on that punch and that reach. Then you're going to reset. Then we add the punch and the reach to a crossover move. So you're going to punch, reach, gather, hit the crossover, and then you could burst up, maybe have a quarterback give you a ball, or just accelerate up into wherever you run. So this is working on that hesitation element of the release, the mechanics of the hesitation element of the release, and then obviously having great tempo using that crossover move. So I'm going to do this full speed. Remember, we use this release when it's an inside shade DB, 2 to 3 yards off, but we need to have that great hesitation skip at him. All right, guys, this next drill that we're going to show you is pretty much the same format as the last drill, but instead of a hesitation like slide or skip, if you will, it's going to be kind of like, I call it a square up skip, if you will, but it's going to be essentially like a kick step. You guys have all seen that kick step before where you take your back foot and you kick behind your front foot to get you some explosion into a release. It's essentially that, but it's a way to close space with the DB, so it's a little bit more creative of a release, but it's the same pattern. So first cone, from cone 1 to cone 2, orange to blue, you're going to be just doing that skip to close space. Then we're going to be doing the full actual 4-step release. So this is a 4-step release. So you're going to start out here, left foot's up. You're going to take this right foot and step behind your front foot to square up this DB. He's inside shade, so we want to square him up to where he is now head up in front of me. So this first part is working on just those first 2 steps. So you're going to go here, right, left. And you're going to work on closing distance with this. One of the mistakes wide receivers will make on this release is that they will do this kick behind, but they will be lateral. We don't want to be lateral because then there's cushion between me and the DB. We want to be able to attack him and square him up. Then you're going to reset. We're going to be working on the exact same thing. Kick behind, right, left, right, left, hit a crossover, and then I'm out. So it is a 4-step release. So first part of this, orange cone to blue cone, the first 2. You're just doing the kick behind, gather step, and come to balance. Second part of this, you're doing the full 4-step release. I'm going to show you how this thing is going to look full speed. All right, guys, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions on any of the drills that we just covered or tips that we just covered, don't hesitate to leave those in the comment section below. We always appreciate the feedback, and it's always great to hear from you guys. But also, fellas, if you would like to come train with us in 10 different states this off-season, check out that very first link in the description below. We'd love to have you out to one of our off-season QB and wide receiver camps. I'll see you guys next time.